Ladies and gentlemen, digital transformation is the holy grail and solution designing to add it on, right? But who talks about the humane and ethical dimensions of the same? Well, we are seeing a new breed of CFOs emerging who are looking for deep insights across functions and business to get an understanding of the future, the upcoming. So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me pleasure and pride both at the same time to be inviting up on the stage right here the very experienced Dr. Paritosh Basu, the senior professor and chairperson MBA Law from NMIMS School of Business Management, joining us. Dr. Basu, if you're all set, we are all ears for your address.
Thank you so much, Sikha, for your introduction. Thank you very much indeed, participants who are here with us for listening to the human and ethical dimensions of digital transformation and solution designing. I'll be using quite a few graphics, and these graphics are easily available and freely available. These are only for propagating knowledge and not for commercial purpose. Quickly, let me take you through the 9 mega trends and 2 possibilities. We will be adding 1 more billion population and be 8.5 billion under the sun by 2030. 1/3 of the people only will live in villages, 2/3 will be in urban areas. Transparency will become more open and less private. You have seen what is happening in America, Australia, and even in India in terms of climate crisis. That will continue to be more, and it will not spare richest of the rich and poorest of the poor countries. The resource pressure will continue, and the most required resource, which will be maximum in demand, is breathable air and potable water. You believe me, that's going to happen as per the Ascension analyst. Clean technology will be very much in demand technology. Anything you do, even in digital transformation, you have to be clean. Technology will shift, and average human being will be under the direct interference and influence of 5 IoTs and indirect of about 20 IoTs in the world. That is the prediction by 2030, 35, that will be the situation. Global policy will be more important and open. There will be a lot of questions of what do we do. There will be nationalism increasing. There will be radicalism increasing, or may not. But this is something the world to shape towards. 2 more probabilities. World may fight the 3rd World War in the cyberspace. And today only I was listening to the news. NATO has included cyber threat as the 4th threat category for NATO treaty. And COVID-19 pandemic will continue to haunt human civilization for more a decade. If it will not go away from the minds of people, so people will be skeptical. I have given stars against certain points here. You can see digital transformation. My question is, will it be able to happen? Will it be able to mitigate all these critical risks from these developments? I don't know. You people who are dealing with digital transformation and digital tools will be able to answer it better than me. Let me tell you, we have in front of us 8 digital technologies, which are deep technologies. And 2 more or 3 more are knocking our doors: edge computing, quantum computing, and human machine brain interface. So human brain and machine interface is going to decide many things in future. But I have given some blue ticks against certain technologies. One interesting point here is that these technologies can be integrated, and blockchain can serve the platform for give you the human-centric solution designing. So let's move forward with digital solution building using these deep technologies with the promise that it will be human-centric. Now, what are the cornerstones to become humanity-first oriented solution designers? There are 6 cornerstones: well-being, inclusion, that is inclusive smile, security for all, privacy for all, accountability, and trust. When you talk about accountability as trust, you have to ensure one version of truth and one version of equity. Everybody is same to a digital solution designer. The point here is maximization of value creation and minimization of value destruction should be the mantra. Just a previous session, we are listening about ROI, and digital solution can give you ROI if maximization of value creation is there and minimization of value destruction is there. Your digital solutions, yesterday in the news, I was reading that 15 banks of India have come together for designing a blockchain platform for trade finance. It will minimize value destruction. But whenever you do all this, it should be for shared values. Your customers should be benefited. People should be benefited for inclusive happiness. And it should reach, the smile should be there across all strata of the society, anywhere under the sun. That is the cornerstone of humanity. I was rereading, again, I was reading the human rights, which are under the Universal Declaration of United Nations General Assembly 1948. And I'm sure you must be agreeing with me that a digital solution cannot be designed violating human rights. And this United Nations declarations of human rights are continuing to cover the ethical parts of and the humanitarian part of digital solution designing for information and communication technology. 5 articles are very important for us to keep in mind when we do solution designing for human beings. 1, all human beings are born free and equal dignity and equal rights are due to them. We can't break their freeness. We can't hamper their dignity and rights. Everyone has a right to life. Everyone has a right to liberty and right to be security of his person. That is Article 3. Article 12 says that arbitrary interference with his privacy, family, home, or correspondence, nor attacks upon his honor and reputation, we cannot do. No human being can be made subject to this. And I need not elaborate what is happening in the digital and social media world in terms of interference, privacy breaking, family and home correspondence issue, etc., etc. Article 28 says everyone is entitled to social and international order in which the rights and freedom can be realized. So one has to follow the discipline. So there is a huge need. There is a huge need for bringing international code of conduct and standards. Everyone shall be, and our last article, which is important for us in the digital world, is, I read it so that there is no distortion. Everyone shall be subject to only to such limitations as are determined by law. So you can't go beyond law as a solution designer. And we know what is happening in various parts of the world regarding certain media houses. Solely for the purpose of securing due recognition and respect for the rights and freedoms of others. You cannot violate the rights and freedoms of anybody. And it must be meeting the just requirement, that is equitable requirement of morality, public order, general welfare in a democratic society. The point I am trying to say, is there any technical school or computing school or digital program in the world and the country which in first few foundation classes teaches about the human rights declared by the United General Assembly? Are you aware of? Let us be aware of it. If not, then let us read ourselves. Because Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development says, being able to measure people's quality of life is fundamental when assessing progress of societies. So our objective for anything and everything we do in this Industry 4.0 era is to improve the quality of life of people. Otherwise, we are not progressing. And if we are not progressing, what is the fun of digital transformation? I don't want to explain this side, neither you can see it properly. You know what is happening in the world. If the digital cornerstones are not appropriately laid for digital solution designing, what happens in the world with, Cambridge Analytica, Facebook of the world, what happened to Mark Zuckerberg, etc., etc., etc. You know what has happened to the power grid of Maharashtra, India's Domino's Pizza, and Air India passenger 45 lakh data leak from Geneva, CETA. So cornerstones of digital solutions must be laid in a very interesting manner and a very appropriate and proper manner. So what are the imperatives for digital transformation? I don't want to sell ice to Eskimos. I don't want to bring coal to Newcastle. What I want to say that digital transformation, while anybody and everybody present here knows, be careful about quality, volume, relevance, and safety of data, because data is one of the major foundation and the input for digital technologies. Digital oil can create devastating fires like liquid oil also can do. So be careful about these fires, and these fires, if it occurs, it will not put your business only into trouble, it will put the stakeholders into trouble, large stakeholders. This is the fintech oriented or FinCon oriented solution conference. So my thoughts about digital solution designing for fintech is like this. Keep the main thing as the main thing. It is our objective to keep the main thing as the main thing for the main thing. The main thing is to keep the main thing as the main thing. Then what is the main thing? The main thing is to solve the identified problems of the target stakeholders with humanity first as the principle. Let me tell you, we the digital solution designers and the digital evangelists have not come this far to only reach this far. We have to remember Gautam Buddha who said, Charai Veti, we have to move on. But how do we move on? Let us make a principle and thinking better and ingrained in our mind that what all have brought us here will not take us there. Definitely not. We have to do something new and something innovative. So it took about 10 decades to transit from one industrial revolution in 1770, mechanization, to 1970, which is computerization. So if it has taken 10 decades to come from first industrial revolution to the third industrial revolution, and it has taken about 3 to 4 decades to come from computerization to digital transformation, I'm warning you that Industry 4.0 will not last for long. Industry 5.0 will take over, and it will take over in maybe another 1 to 2 decades time maximum. So when you do solution designing for the generation A and generation Z, which are your new customers, you have to think of very clearly that you have to design the solution for meeting the individual requirements of each person. And believe me, nobody in the world would like to continue to be dictated by your app. You have to provide the solution in such a manner that the ultimate application of the solution is under the flexible hands and desirability of the user of the solution, because nobody wants to be dictated. So this solution can be possibly designed if your esteemed values of humanity is supreme in your solution designing principle. So you have not, I repeat again, you have not come this far to reach only this far. Charai Veti is the mantra. So I was talking to Shirley, and Shirley said, Dr. Basu, you think of something which you give new to this. I do not know what I will be talking in next 2 minutes, what is new, but I am working with some solution designer for this. I am talking about let crowdfunding be the next asset class, because there are huge number of youth professionals in India. I'm not talking about entrepreneurs. I'm talking about working professionals. They are ready to help solution designers. They are ready to help the startups. So I want you to design a blockchain platform for crowdfunding, which will be participated by people to startup, customer to startup, business to startup, and people to people. People to people and people to startup, you can give them equity share, debentures, and advances, incentives, or whatever it is. They will get huge return or they will lose. Because if they are successful, 400 to 500% return is there. Consumer will look for a novelty product. So if any startup is coming up with a novelty product, consumer may give them a crowdfunding. Business can give crowdfunding in various ways. First, there could be input buyers. You are making a product, it's a digital or a physical product. Input buyers will be buying it, and you can get funding, crowdfunding through digital platform called blockchain platform for innovative products. Your distribution partners can fund you for a commitment to give the distributorship of the work of the product and solutions. Traders can fund you for future supply at a discounted price. Solution providers can fund you. Solution buyers can fund you by giving money to you in any form. And finally, your strategic alliance partners can also fund you because you can give them free or royalty, or free licenses or discounted royalty. My point here is, this is one idea which India can use, because Indian youth are fed up with asset classes like this, and cryptocurrency is not an asset which is in the hands of everybody. So why not crowdfunding? I know SEBI will come in the way, but definitely we can work together to give us a solution. So when you do a future ready solution, your perspectives are business, customer, product, teamwork, and promotion, development, budget, and analysis. These are your perspective. When you design this, when you design a digital solution and keeping these perspectives of view, automatically which will come in your way is the strategy. So keep in mind that your strategy is only one: human-centric strategy and people-centric strategy. So your strategic cornerstones would be trust, shared value, value experience, value ease of applications, scalability, and sustainability, alignment with your vision and mission of what you want to do. Many times, many organizations move away from vision and mission. If your vision and mission has got one word in the articulation, that is people and humanity, I'm sure in the digital era, nobody will be able to snatch away your success. So when you design solution, you are taking Internet of people, you are taking Internet of ideas, Internet of data, and Internet of things. So far, I have written 22 papers on digital transformation. My last paper is on Internet of behavior. Don't force people to behave in a particular way. Give them enough of space and independence to have their own thought process work when they are using your app. An Internet of behavior, if you are not taking regards for, then you are going to make mistakes and you will not be able to design human-centric solutions. Be careful about it. My paper is available in LinkedIn against my account. You can definitely read about it. Let me now, I have about 7 minutes time. Let me now quickly take you through. There are certain participants present here who are designing digital solution for government services. OECD has given an excellent guideline for 3 pillars of digital solution designing. First is good governance, and second is efficiency, and third is effectiveness. When good governance meets efficiency, your solution becomes reliable, participative, focus on citizens' need, and public value. When efficiency meets effectiveness, you get the result of empowerment, evidence, demand management, and personalization. When good governance meets effectiveness, you get openness, transparency, accountability, and autonomy. So these 4 sub-pillars: reliability, participation, focus on citizens' need, public value, this empowerment, evidence, demand management, personalization, openness, transparency, and accountability. This should be your first choice of perspectives and foundation for solution designing. In any case, you can't do any solution designing which are guzzlers of power and guzzlers of natural resources and pollute the world, because we have a promise to hand over a better world to our next generation. So this is what your presenter has created, a principle called 8WH principle. I've written about it. Quickly take you through with this. What are the problems and latent demands of society and humanity? So when you do solution designing, you keep people first and services first as your motto. Here the people are of 2 groups. One group of people who are helping you to design the solution and to be the beneficiary of the profit out of it, and one group of people for whom you are designing the solution. So again, people centricity is in 2 perspectives. So this 8WH principle says, what are the problems and latent demands of society? Who are the present service providers and what are their limitations? When the solution is to be delivered and updated and upscaled, because you can't keep your solution without updated and upscaling because regulations are changing. Where is the universe of customer located and for what value they can sacrifice? Which regulations are to be complied with and for what risks? This is a very, very important point. Whom should the user refer to in case of challenge and difficulties? That means you should define a SPOC for your solution. Who are the stakeholders? Is it only a group of customers and owners or society at large? Whether any better solution is being offered by competitors. How to assess, this is for your sustainability, the solution by competitors. How to assess and track users' delight. You cannot just design a solution and be done with it. You have to continuously assess its capability. So you disrupt traditional business model and disrupt the best operating process of service delivery with significant legal disruptions. So my personal request to all the participants here to please keep this 8WH principles of solution designing. I have written in some of my papers on digital transformation, which are published, I have introduced this 8WH solution. When you design your digital solution, please remember that you have to make it risk-enabled. You have to make it risk-enabled performance management solution. You cannot design solution with the safety pin principle that cracks will be there and you will just patch it up with safety pin. No, this will not work for you. You cannot design an unstructured solution. You know what has happened for the recent Infosys case of the income tax portal. There would be some problem in the structuring and the IoT and the user acceptance test. You should always keep in mind which is your weakest of the link and address it. And let me tell you, if you feel that you have done the peripheral safety management and there is no need for getting into the core safety management of your system, we are living in fool's paradise for that. Core safety management is our principal point. So risk management is a priority, not an afterthought. And practically nothing is safe. Why nothing is safe? Because users are not magically protected as technology evolves. Users are not magically protected as technology evolves. You can make the user protected. So you have to do a commitment in your designing in such a manner that you have it a foolproof. Except blockchain, my recommendation for this is continuously introduce ethical hacking. You should have an in-house ethical hacking department to work for. So what are the ethical dimensions of human and digital transformation? What are the world-renowned people are saying? I may cross Shikha by about 2-3 minutes. While I do believe human machines collaboration will bring many benefits to society over time, I fear that we will have not made enough progress by 2030. This lady, who is the US ambassador to the United Nations for the Human Rights Council, Geneva, she said that bias, discrimination, and loss of accountability, these are very important factors. The director of Facebook, Yan LeCun, has said, despite these astonishing advances, we are a long way from the machines that are as intelligent as humans or even rats. So far, we have seen only 5% of AI, its capability. So if Facebook guy says we have only seen 5% of AI, so AI can do wonders. And recently we have seen that after receiving an instruction from a drone, a robotic killer has killed 2 people. So in terms of robotic process automation, I have introduced these 13 principles. I don't want to narrate these 13 principles because I have limitation of time. These principles, I'll be writing my paper for the month of July and elucidating these principles for AI and robotic process automation. Please keep these on mind. So I come to the last 3 slides. Technology does not have morality, emotion, ethics, and value generation of its own. Technologists have those. I repeat, technology doesn't have morality, emotion, ethics, and value generation of its own. Technologists have. Success of digital transformation will depend on these human qualities of solution builders. leaving least scope for anyone to use with any ulterior motive. It should be grounded on the human foundation of sustainable shared values. Humanity is one and the world is its home. Hence the need of a global regulatory body for directional guidance for monitoring and digital transformation. Regulators must have more insight to control through oversight. Customers must have options for self-initiated executable contract, which I mean smart contracts. So in Moscow, World Blockchain Summit in Moscow, I introduced these 7 T's and 7 P's of digital transformation. Technology, talent, truth, trust, transparency, tenacity, and timeline. These are my 7 T's of success in digital technology. Technology, talent, truth, trust, transparency, tenacity, and timeline. My 7 P's for shared development: people, patience, passion, perseverance, piety, purity, and penance. So this gentleman has said that people and machine has to collaborate to give the solution. So what are my 10 commandments for you? My 10 commandments for digital transformation is humanity first, reduce complexities, reimagine consumption, go for creative destruction, manage climate emergency, redistribute power and wealth, be accountable without discrimination, fix imbalance of humanity and technology, enhance technology with universal altruism, and let imagination and ethics lead transformation. My personal request, and I urge upon you to kindly keep this in this particular slide in your mind whenever you sit with your computer and design solutions. Gurudev Rabindranath said, I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold that service was joy. So I wish all the very best to you by getting the best of enjoyment by providing service to humanity. And the last word, the last slide, Albert Einstein said once, I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. I do not know whether Einstein really said it. I do not know we are creating a generation of idiots, but definitely we have to be careful about all this. Thank you very much indeed. And thank you so much for your patient hearing.
Well, Dr. Basu, what do I have to say to you? Your address and commandments vibed farsightedness and felt so humanizing. Like with undivided attention, I listened to every word that you said, and I'm sure that goes out for our audience members at the same time. Well, minimization of value destruction is something to swear by, as you clearly said. Thank you for reminding us of our fundamental rights and, you know, the reason for our existence, right? So thank you very much.
I'm into an article now, and it will be published in July. So I think users will be able to read it.
Absolutely. Dr. Basu, thank you very much again. And I wish you the best of the day and the best of the health at the same time. While my delegates can check the Logitech booth right now, I can just rush backstage to patch in the discussants for the next panel discussion that's coming up. Well, if you're wondering where's the booth, that's at the experience zone. So please experience that right now. And don't forget to fill in the feedback forms at the respective booths as well. Well, the discussion that's coming up, that's going to cover data as a service, data visualization, automating processes with RPA, etc. I'm going to talk more about it as I'll be shortly back on the screen. See you right there.
Thank you, Shikha. Can I sign off because I have a class to start?